Hi, I'm Carly Lynn, and I'm joined with USC sociologist and professor Dr. James Thing. So, can you please tell us a little bit about your background and your academic field of research?
Sure. As you mentioned, I'm a sociologist. I finished my PhD here in the Department of Sociology. My dissertation focused on sexual identity formation among gay Mexican men and gay Mexican immigrant men. So I did a multi-site ethnography in Mexico City, Cuernavaca, and Los Angeles.
And these all you compiled for your dissertation. Can you talk
This
to us
was-
about that?
My main questions were really theoretical. I was interested in exploring the global aspects of sexual identity formation. So, in what ways is globalization impacting people's sexual identities? So instead of thinking about the United States having one sexual system and Mexico having another sexual system, wanting to see what are the connections between sexual systems.
Right.
What I found was that that areas that had a lot of tourists were being impacted by the entire industry. So because they had so much contact with men from these are gay men, they had so much contact with tourists from all over the world.
Right.
That it was impacting the local sexual cultures.
Wow.
Such that they were becoming kind of incorporating the ideas that gay or queer tourists brought with them.
Wow.
Many of the men that were part of the participant observation activities, men that I interviewed, were really connecting with other men through the internet.
Okay.
So kind of learning how many men were learning how to be gay or what it meant to be gay through online sexual cultures. And to the extent that they have access to the internet in Mexico or to satellites or whatever media kind of technologies, right? Communications technologies. These things are global.
Right.
Queer as Folk, Will and Grace, like they knew all the gay shows in Mexico.
Right, but not
more so than the immigrant men here.
Okay.
Well, the men that I interviewed in Mexico tended to be have higher socioeconomic backgrounds. And were from more economically stable families,
Right.
and were from urban environments. Los Angeles also an urban environment, but the immigrant men once here don't have access necessarily to all of the things that mainstream middle class Americans have.
Right. Can you speak to us about the complexities within the Latino culture and the family structure?
Instead of looking at the family as necessarily oppressive,
Right.
because so oftentimes we hear, oh, Latino culture is so homophobic, and it's must be so hard to be gay and Latino in your families. And while there's a certain truth to this, it's much more complex than that.
Right.
So
So you're hoping to help people find strength within their families to be a motivating force versus something that they would feel oppressed by.
right, Latino community or Latino communities, really, as I prefer to use the term, are very diverse.
Right.
So the way that the extent to which sexual silence permeates Latino communities varies for Guatemalans versus Mexicans, and there's social class variations, and
Right.
certain families might be more religious or come from more religious communities. But as a general rule, sexuality is a topic that's reserved for certain contexts to be discussed about.
Right.
So it's not a topic of conversation at
dinner, right.
It's not a dinner time
Right.
conversation. Gay and bisexual men, but specifically gay men, are often very integrated in family systems,
Right.
perhaps living with their partner, with their families, right, of origin or their extended families,
Right.
and just no one names it.
Right.
It's unfortunate in some ways. I mean, I experience in my own family some similar dynamics.
Okay.
Although my family is pretty open and my family is fairly accepting, it's been a lot of work to get
Right.
them to
Right.
there. But I think that they, they're still. I'm not considered a sexual equal.
Right.
When you're dealing with homophobia, and then you're dealing with, maybe not being accepted in your family, or yeah, you're accepted, but don't talk about it, and don't say that this is my partner. You're not celebrated in the same way that
Right.
that straight, heterosexuality is celebrated
Right.
in terms of your weddings, and that can have a tremendous impact on our mental health.
Right.
And to always be worrying about monitoring your behavior, worrying about your partner's behavior, worrying about which friends you invite over, how they'll get perceived by your family or by your community.
Right.
When you fragment your life off, when life is fragmented, so I have my gay friends over here I have my family, here I have like my connections with the mainstream Latino community.
Right.
If these are not integrated,
Right.
that it takes a toll on us personally.
What do you believe the future holds for the Latino community?
The activism that's happening here, that immigrants are doing here, whether it's around immigration or LGBTQ immigrants, right? That's also making its way to Mexico. So
Right.
Mexico City, for instance, has legal gay marriage.
Which is an
And
amazing achievement.
Education, knowledge is power.
That's
So
so
once we
true.
know some of the issues facing communities, we can then help to support that community.
For more information, is
Yeah.
there a way that students can contact you?
I'm always interested in working with students, looking for students who would be interested in collaborating on research projects.
Yeah.
So I am at Thing, my last name, THING, at usc.edu. Again, I'm a postdoctoral research fellow at the Institute for Health Promotion, Disease Prevention Research on the Health Science campus.
Okay. Again, his email is thing@usc.edu. Fortunately, that's all the time we have, but thanks for watching. I'm Carly Lynn. We'll see you next time.